said, after that, I'm here to thank God for what He has done for me. 2023, I was having some severe headaches. It was non-stop. I kept on going to the hospital, and I keep getting a send back. Oh, go home and drink some painkillers. Just drink water and rest. It kept on continuing like that. Prior to that time, the year before, I had the same headache at work. I almost collapsed. I was rushed to the hospital. And after several hours, I was sent home. They said they couldn't find anything. And that headache just continued. I was finally put on high blood pressure medicine. They said the headache is probably because my blood pressure was high. I couldn't sleep because of the pain. And then 1 year after, so June the 6th, that was exactly the day I had like a thunderclap headache. And then it continued. I tried sleeping. I was throwing up. It didn't stop. And then it continued like that till the next day that I was rushed to the hospital. I got there. Few hours later, they sent me back home. They're like, it's okay. So now everyone would think when you live abroad, there is rapt attention to anything that's regards to your health. But no, there was negligence. They kept on sending me back home. And at the end of it, it continued. After a week, I noticed my left eye was beginning to drop. And I said, this is not normal because my eyes are not like this. The thunderclap came back. The headache just came like it, very painful from nowhere. I screamed and then I called my mom. Before then, I've already been on the altar of fire. I told my immediate sister, she's here sitting somewhere. I told her, you have to start going to church. Now I'm someone who has loved God, who was always into praying. It's a thing for me that I cannot do anything else. But I called my sister to get involved in the altar of fire. So she joined, and I also told her to start attending here. And then she started coming. When this headache came, I called my mom. She doesn't live far away from me. Quickly, she got to me, and I went to the hospital. They left me for a few hours, and I was supposed to go to the program in the UK with Pastor Jerry. I bought my ticket, booked hotel, everything, prepared. But I couldn't because I was at the hospital. My mom was asking me, are you sure you'll still be able to go for your program? I said, when I get out from here, I will go. So she said, okay, few hours. I was still there from 9 in the evening to like 4 in the morning. They still not attended to me. And finally, they sent me into the MRI to check. That was when they said there's a bleeding in my head. And I was supposed to be rushed to the hospital, a bigger one, immediately. Now they put me back in the room. So I told them I was pressed. I wanted to pee. God so kind, my mom came back and I told my mom, Mom, come with me. I needed support now. So she followed me into the toilet. That was where she said I collapsed. I didn't remember anything afterwards. I woke up 9 days after. And I was told that they did an operation in my head for brain aneurysm. And it was 9% chances that I have to live. But my mom said, she is my daughter, but she belongs to a place where they don't die. Young people don't die. So this one will not die. My daughter has 1,000 chances to live. So they did the first one. They came back and said, she might not remember anything. So this is the serious part. You have to go bring her pictures. So she has to relearn herself when she wakes up. She has to know who she is. She will not be able to walk. She will have loss of memory. She would need help and support. My mom says, no, I know my daughter. She would come back fully as she went back. So she kept on praying. So the doctor left and closed the door. So she kept on singing. NSPPD was praying while I was unconscious. To them, it looked normal. But to me, I had a situation where it felt like a spiritual battle. Now to them, they're sending me through an MRI machine to do their checks to see what's going on in my brain. I was seeing a battlefield. I was seeing myself being put on a rail to go in, and then there were people holding hands. It was a dark place. I didn't know who these people were, but they were coming with me, to me, with full force. And all I could say, I was speaking in tongues, and I'd say, in the name of Jesus. When I do in the name of Jesus, I see them melting. It was like that. I did it the first time, and they said, oh, we couldn't get the test. Let's go back again. I said, I'm not going. I don't know what I'm seeing. The doctor was like, what are you talking about? I said, you wouldn't understand. Now I was unconscious talking to them. They said, and then it happened again, but I used the name of Jesus to conquer all of these challenges. And then I came out. And then when I woke up, they asked me, where are you? I was telling them the first hospital I was at. They said, no. I kept on arguing that that's where I was. But finally, I agreed that that's where I am now because that's the place that I am. And I asked, where is my mother? And then they asked me my name. I told them my name. They say, what do you remember? I was telling them. And then I asked the nurse, I said, why are you asking me this? They said, no, it's just procedure. I said, do you want me to tell you what happened 10 years ago? And then it was like, okay, it seems everything was fine. Quickly, swiftly, I left the ICU and I was sent to the normal ward, and I was discharged to go normally for the follow-up routines to see how my muscles will return back. Under 1 week, I was discharged because they didn't see any need to help me for anything. I thought the devil didn't end there. I went now for checkup. They heard a murmur in my heart. They said my heart is open, the blood is returning back. They call it stenosis of the left aortic valve. And I said, God, you that started this work, you brought me back. I am just over 35 and all of this is happening. But I told the doctor, I said, okay, I'll go for more checkups. He did that severally. And they said, come back 1 year after. 1 year after, which was last year, 16th of January, I went there. I was listening to Pastor praying on the morning session. I had my Bluetooth on, and then she was doing her work. Normally, I was speaking in tongues, listening, Pastor declaring what you're going for. They wouldn't see what they found before.
Go back and check in the hospital. What they saw before, they will not see it again.
This nurse was there. She was checking. She turned and looked at me. How are you? I said, I'm fine. Why are you here? I said, you have the report. She said, are you taking medications? I said, no. He said, how are you feeling? I said, I'm perfectly well. And she said, okay, I don't understand. And then she looked at the former one. She was looking at me. She said, I'm confused. She was doing again. I said, hold on. Let me go and call the doctor because I cannot tell you what I am seeing. Then the doctor came back. She was smiling. So your heart is perfect. Go and live your normal life. Go and live your normal life. You are fine. All I could do was cry. I said, God, if this is not you, then I don't know who did this. She didn't understand why I was crying, but I cried all the way home because I know what God has done for me. I know 1 year after my operation, no, barely 1 year, I started feeling a coldness at the place where they did the operation. I started feeling like a cold rush, like they poured water. On the fire altar, Pastor Jerry said, you had a brain surgery. And after that brain surgery, it's like there's a cold rush in your head.
You had a brain surgery. Since after the brain surgery, it looks like fluid. It's crawling around your head. It's crawling around your head. If you are the one putting on the live stream, the devil is a liar. Oh, yeah, now, so let it be reversed.
I didn't know, but I shouted after that day. I just noticed the coldness stopped because I would touch my head like who is pouring water on my head. There is nothing coming, but I could feel like water is draining. But God, in His infinite mercy, He made me perfect. And I'm standing here today. They said I cannot walk. Here I am. They said I might be paralyzed. Here I am. They said my eyes might not return normal. Everything is perfect. And I woke up raising my hand saying, the Lord has showed Himself strongly, mightily, made a name for Himself through my life because He did what the doctors called impossible. The doctors don't even know how and what happened, but here I am standing on my feet. And Pastor Jerry, may God bless you for on a different level of fire. I said, may God keep you, strengthen you, cause your fire never to go down, and of your increase, Pastor Sir, there will be no end. In the name of Jesus.